We all talk about angels, which is whenever you say angels, you think of, the good angels, angels of God. Are they also bad angels, like angels that are planning to do harm to us? This man's story opens up to this different side or different world of angels. So, it's his encounter. So, at the end of the story, tell me what you think. And have you had experience like that? I hope you don't. But let's just jump right into the story. Now, this man right here, he was supposed to meet with his wife. His wife is in Canada while he was in West Texas. So they were supposed to meet in Houston, Texas, in the United States. So the wife flew from Canada while he flew from the west part of Texas. And when they got there, the man quickly picked up his luggages, but the wife was losing one luggage. So they decided to go sit somewhere and while they wait for this luggage so that they can figure out what was going on. And suddenly they heard like some noises down the hallway, and when they looked, they saw this woman like screaming on top of his voice, and the cops were around this woman. Now, this woman looked very different. She didn't look like the regular people you see every day. She was wearing this very black gown from head to toe, and she had this long dark dreads, and she has the sunglasses in the airport, and she also has weird jewelry all over her body. And she was like acting like authority against the cops who are actually trying to arrest him. She was saying things like, "Do you know who I am?" Things like that. But the couple decided to stay on their own and mind their business. So suddenly the cops led this woman, who at this point was tied backwards with a handcuff in an arrest manner, and they walked just behind the couple, who at this point were like sitting and like facing. But then the husband perceived an odor, and then he turned back, and behold, it's the woman passing by. And then the wife now noticed, she said that she was actually with this woman in an elevator when she was coming from, when she was coming out from the airplane. Before the wife could say something, the man already conceived something. He in his mind said, this woman was smelling like that. And then the wife also opened up his mouth, confirming what the man was perceiving in his heart, said that the woman smells like death. So it was weird. And the man concurred the same thing. It's weird. How does death smell? While the woman was passing with the cops behind them, the man looked back and was looking at this woman from the opening of her glasses. The woman's eye was like barely open, and the color of her eyes were different. Like he felt like this woman was like actually wearing those shades to cover the actual looks of her eyes. And they made nothing out of it, and the woman was taken away. And when the couple realized that they cannot get their luggage no more, they decided to go lodge in a hotel and come back the next day and pick up their luggage. When they walked out, they made a mistake and went to the taxi section instead of the Uber section, because they don't really know their way around. So while they were waiting, they heard footsteps behind them, and they both turned back, and behold, it's the woman again with the dark gown and dreads and looking weird and still smelling weird. The woman made her way close to them and stood there. And the man turned to his wife and said, "This is weird. We've seen this woman in a very short time, like severally." They both agreed that this is a public place. It's an airport. When they got to the hotel, they actually are in the reception while they were waiting for their turn. They spent like 30 minutes waiting to get to their turn. Immediately got to their turn to be attended by the receptionist. The door opened, and behold, same woman walked in. At this point, the couple were very, very worried, and they were scared. But they didn't really show it, and they hurried up, picked up their keys, and went into the room. They took a nap and woke up and decided to go outside and eat instead of eating in the hotel. They decided to take a walk to this spot where they are going to eat. It was like a mile from the hotel. After eating, they realized that it was a long walk heading back to the hotel, so they decided to pick up an Uber. The Uber didn't connect, so they decided to walk. And then while they were walking at 12 midnight, at a midpoint, they decided to walk into this random gas station to get a bottle of water. While they were trying to get this water, the door opened, and behold, this same woman, same dressed up as she was before, came into the doorway and went to buy something. And at this point, the man called his wife and said that he felt very, very uncomfortable in him when he saw this woman this time. That he feels this woman is an angel of death. And they decided to leave the water and head back to the hotel. They went back home, made nothing out of it, slept. In the morning, they decided to go to the airport earlier than they planned because they just want to leave the scene. Now, while they were waiting, the door opened again, and behold, this same woman, dressed up in the same way, black gown with the sunshades in the middle of in an airport, and wearing all jewelries and still smelling the way the man was tired of the whole thing. And they still couldn't do anything because the woman doesn't do anything. He goes just close to them and does what she wants to do, and that's it. They finally made it back home. Few days later, while they were at home, while resting and watching TV, suddenly the man started having a serious chest pain that took him down, and they took him to the hospital. He actually survived after a surgical procedure. They realized that he had a heart attack that almost took his life. The man said that he met an angel of death, but for some reason that he made it out alive. Now, what do you think? Do you think that this is a coincidence? And do you also think that, understanding the airport situation, people can run into each other? But what struck me personally was the actual gas station incident. It's in the middle of the night, like 12:30 a.m. and it's a random gas station, and then this woman still walked in. Now, this one for sure makes me feel a little bit nervous. Like, definitely be careful the way you treat people around you. The man seems to be lucky because it looks like the angel has like a distinct look, so it's easy for him to tell. This man said this is what happened to him. It is true to him. Tell me what you think.